So I don't know how many of you guys grew up watching Spongebob, but I did, so I was quite interested to check out the movie, which was released I think 10 years after the previous movie. But anyway, here's my review of it. So Spongebob Sponge Out of Water is the second Spongebob movie to be released on the big screen. I didn't see the first one, so I can't comment about how good or bad that one was, but a lot of people have been saying that it is a pretty good movie, at least in terms of Spongebob. So if you're unfamiliar with the general Spongebob lore, I guess you could say, Spongebob is a guy that works at a restaurant called the Krusty Krab. He makes burgers and stuff, and apparently these burgers called the Krabby Patties are the most special thing in the city that they live in, called Bikini Bottom. So one day someone steals the secret formula to these Krabby Patties, and now Spongebob and his friends have to go find out who stole it and get it back. Now honestly, the plot for the movie is more or less non-existent. Like, it really serves no other purpose other than to drive the story forward, which I guess is fine considering it is a children's cartoon and you're not really looking for some in-depth level story here. So most of you have probably seen the trailer for the movie, which featured a lot of live action 3D stuff, and it's a bit misleading because all that 3D stuff actually happens towards the end of the movie, and most of it is still the classic 2D SpongeBob animation that we all know and love. And I have to say that these parts are actually pretty solid. Like, there were a lot of pretty good jokes that were genuinely funny, but when it actually transitions to the 3D part, the live action stuff, it takes quite a dive in terms of, you know, general quality. I'm not saying that in terms of, like, you know, the CGI is bad or anything. The CGI actually looks pretty cool, at least in my opinion. But when I say it takes a dive in quality, I mean the quality of the jokes and the story and how everything just fit together. Like, I enjoyed the 2D parts more than 3D parts, to say the least. And while the movie does have some solid jokes and solid animation when it's on the 2D parts, there is unfortunately an equal amount of unfunny jokes that are just slapstick humor aimed towards children, or just really dumb jokes that are not really, you know, good jokes. Now I get that I'm not really the target audience for this movie, and neither were my other 24-year-old friends, but as people that grew up in the era of SpongeBob, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that, that's when a lot of us were growing up and watching the cartoon. And unfortunately, it just didn't have all of the, you know, the old SpongeBob goodness that the old cartoons and episodes had. If you didn't know, like, SpongeBob is a cartoon that was funny for kids and adults because there was some subtle jokes in there that only adults would get and children wouldn't get until they grew older, like I am now. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and Google yourself, like, you know, adult jokes in SpongeBob, whatever, and you'll find quite a surprising amount of them hidden within the old episodes. Now, a lot of people are saying that the new SpongeBob episodes are nowhere near as good as the old ones, and I think I'm inclined to agree because when I stopped watching it as I got older, the quality of the episodes just weren't as funny and as good as the old episodes. So I would say in SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water, there are quite a few solid jokes that are reminiscent of the old original SpongeBob seasons, but a lot of the jokes were also kind of unfunny and just focused towards children too much, that, you know, even I don't know if they would find it funny either because they were just kind of bland. But anyway, the movie looks great, the animation is great, there's some really trippy parts, and if you're on acid or mushrooms or something when you watch this, you're probably gonna have a ton of fun. But I don't support taking recreational drugs, so stay in school, kids, don't do drugs. But overall, if you're a SpongeBob fan and you're curious about how the movie goes and you are someone that grew up watching SpongeBob, I would probably still recommend this. It's not a terrible movie by any means, but it's not necessarily that great either. And if you're not a SpongeBob fan, you will probably not enjoy it as much as someone who is a SpongeBob fan and someone who did grow up watching the cartoon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, hit that like button. And if you've seen the movie SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water, I don't know what you think, so leave a comment down below. Remember to leave a like down there as well. And remember to subscribe for even more movie reviews, and I'll see you guys next time.